It's not something many of us want to talk about, inflation, but it's what we're doing today. No matter where you go, whether it's at work or with friends, it seems like it is the topic. How much you had to put in your tank today, how much you spent at the grocery store. So tonight we are talking about inflation. It's your chance to call in and have that conversation with us. Professor Julio Rivas is joining us from Lipscomb University. Once again, thank you for being with us.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the invite.
This has been a delightful conversation. We do have one person on the phone. We have Tom on the line. Tom, good evening to you. Go ahead.
Hello, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, I'm 75 years old, and I've lived through some hard times. Is any president responsible for inflation?
Good question, because there's a lot of blame going around in there.
Well, yeah, it's easy to blame somebody. For instance, why doesn't Biden just issue an executive order and say the price of gasoline is $1 a gallon? Praise the Lord. Well, that's a pretty stupid thing. My thing is, look, we're supposed to be a Christian nation. Work together, help each other. Some things you could do: check your tire inflation. Keep your air filter changed. Stop driving like a maniac. Drive for fuel economy. There's plenty of stuff people can do. That's all I got to say, but no president is responsible for inflation. Thank you.
You bring up a great point. Tom, thank you so much for calling in. You know, a lot of this, the politicians just want to point the finger.
Sure.
And I mean, it happens all the time for decades and years past. It doesn't matter who's in office. It's the way it goes, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, politicians, a lot of times, you know, and I'm not saying all of them, you know, but they will do things that will benefit them and the people and make people happy, you know, but here's the thing. I mean, I know we all want to be happy all the time, you know, but that is not a realistic scenario, you know, and sometimes there needs to be measures that need to be taken that are not popular and are not good, but are going to be beneficial in the long term, you know, and I think it's important for us to think about the long term, you know, where are we heading long term, you know, and is what happening right now, how is that going to play out in the future, you know? So it's always good to think about that.
I also think it's good to take a look at our past, as some of our callers have brought up. We've been in these cycles before.
Yes.
What does history tell us about this cycle and inflation shooting up? What's to come? What can we expect just from looking at history?
Yeah. Well, I would say it all depends on what country, right? Let's focus on us for a minute, you know, and I think well, we don't like inflation, and I would say the American public, the American people, know that inflation is not a positive thing, and will demand some measures to be taken so that this will not happen, you know. And I think there are measures that are getting in place. It has happened in the past. In the 80s, you know, there was very high inflation, but you know, interest rates went up to 18% or whatnot, you know, and then things got in control, you know. So I hope that this will be the scenario that we're gonna see here. I will tell you, there's a lot of other countries in the world that have had issues of inflation. Well, you know, Venezuela, Zimbabwe at some point, Germany in the, you know, after World War I. You know, they had what we call hyperinflation, and that is terrible. You know, I mean, I've heard examples of countries in which the price of your meal before you order is different than the price after you order. You know, or you know, McDonald's in Venezuela, they cannot really ring all the order together because of all the zeros that you need to put into the machine. So you know, I mean, things like that, it gets things out of control, you know. I was telling you earlier, I've been to Argentina several times, you know. I take groups of students there, you know, and I love the city of Buenos Aires. It's an amazing place. But the first time I went there in 2013, the dollar in the market, people paid eight of their pesos per dollar. last time I was there before COVID, they paid 75.
Oh,
in
goodness.
2020.
Wow.
And right now, I think it's around 200. So we think the dollar's losing value. Well, the dollar is very valuable for other people in other countries. Which it's like a contradiction, but
Earlier you spoke about, and this really struck a chord with me, you talked about we need a cleansing financially to really reset.
Yes.
What will that look like?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say interest rates need to go up, and we need to cut some of the extra money that is circulating. It's as one of our callers was saying, living beyond our means. We need to adjust that a little bit. I mean, I would say it would be great. It would be ideal if all of us save more money. If we are if we have the possibility of saving, we can save more money. And that will be very good.
Right.
And that would certainly bring good benefits for you in the future, but also for the country.
But like you were saying, it's looking into the long term. It's not some people are spending because it's what they need now. They have to fill their tank to get to work.
That's true.
But it's the extra spending that may be causing it, that likely is causing prices to go up.
And I tell my students, hey, if save. If you're 18, you're 19. If you put $50 every month into a S&P 500 account, by the time you're 40, 50, 60, you're going to have a lot of money.
If they would only listen to that advice, if I could only go back and listen to that advice, right?
Yeah, no. I tell my students, you prepare yourself financially. And I would encourage all of you to do that. I mean, prepare yourselves financially. It's if you have the possibility, even if it's a little bit, a little bit is more than nothing.
That's right.
I mean, a little bit is better than nothing.
I always ask this question of the professors who come on this show, just what are students talking about in your class right now, seeing prices go up, and really at a time, especially I would imagine for undergraduates, where they're starting to think, oh, I've got to pay for things like insurance, or how did that medical insurance cost, or what about gas, or what about flying home for Christmas break? So what are the things that they're starting to ask about?
It's definitely an eye-opener.
It's an awakening, isn't it?
It's and I always make my students do research or try to link whatever theoretical concepts we have with real life, and they see that, I mean, they see, oh, if I live in California, for instance, well, flying there, and then I was looking at a picture at a gas station in LA. I mean, I think it was like $7.25 a gallon.
Yes.
So it is expensive. They will say, well, gas here is very cheap compared to there. Well, that's expensive probably.
Yeah. I've asked you about, are you seeing any indicators of the light at the end of the tunnel? And I almost hate to ask this, but are you seeing any indicators that things are going to get worse before they get better?
That is a great question. I think, I hope we are past the worst thing. I hope the worst. I mean, if measures are implemented right now, the worst will be behind us. Now, here's the thing: there's always lags with economic policy and monetary policy. There's always lags. So if you do something right now, it will not be reflected until later. So it is not like no, that does not happen in economics.
Just like with the stimulus checks, it wasn't that they came in our mailbox and 1 week later prices skyrocketed.
Yeah, it takes time. And we've observed this in many different countries. So that is how it works. There's always going to be lags. It is not something that happens right away. So yeah. Having said that, I really hope the measures are implemented soon. And that is a thing. One very important thing that I would say is we need more oil, right? We need more oil, and I wish we could take out more oil out of the American reserves, because right now that is needed, and fuel prices need to go down.
And you think that would have a big impact on the rest of the economy as a whole?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Because as we were talking earlier, there's so many critical factors, but I really feel like you're saying that's the big one.
I would say that's I mean, one of the bigger ones for sure.
interesting. Thank you for spending the past hour with us, and we can't go without sending out a very happy birthday.
Yes, yes. Well, it's my wife's birthday, so Beth, happy birthday. Appreciate you giving me permission to be here.
Yes, thank you for sharing him with us and our viewers. It really has been a lively conversation and an informative one, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate the invite, Carrie. I'm always delighted to be here and to share the things that I know with everyone.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We like hearing from a finance professor. We do appreciate it. College of Business over at Lipscomb University. Thank you again. When we come back, I'll tell you what we have on tap for the rest of the week. Stay with us.